The Israeli mob, federal agents say their influence and dirty dealings stretch around the globe, and that includes right here in Southern California. Tonight, as Fox 11 investigates, Chris Blatcher reports on the Israeli organized crime operation in Los Angeles.
Two Israeli men shake hands and exchange kisses in a traditional greeting, a sign of goodwill sealing a drug deal. This man with a suitcase full of cocaine is an undercover agent. This is Shmuel Matsri, an Israeli mafioso now doing 12 years in prison for his part in this $2 million drug deal and other crimes. The transaction went down 1.5 years ago in Tel Aviv. But this deal extends back to Los Angeles, a major Israeli mafia hub. And investigators say Shmuel's brother Moshe, seen here at a Montebello shopping center with a bag full of cash and yet another drug deal, is the Israeli crime boss in Los Angeles, former federal prosecutor Michael Stern.
Pretty much if there was a crime and they could make money at it and it was illegal, they were there. They were essentially the Israeli functional equivalent of the Sopranos.
This federal indictment charges Moshe and his crew with a list of crimes including drug dealing, money laundering, extortion, and murder for hire. The feds say it is all about Israeli organized crime. FBI agent Kimberly DeLeo.
I would say they were predators. They're deeply entrenched in the communities.
Investigators say here at this Tarzana synagogue, where Moshe Matsri was well known as the guy in the hat, he was revered as a man who donated a lot of money. Dirty money, say the feds. Government documents obtained by Fox 11 News say Matsri, also known as Moshe the Religious, has been trafficking drugs since he was 17 years old.
I think yes, you would probably have tons of drugs.
In 2002, he was busted in connection with an $8 million ecstasy ring. 8 years later, he was caught in a $500,000 airline ticket fraud scheme. He pleaded guilty to extortion a few years after that. LAPD Lieutenant Steve Margulis recalls Matsri was then let out on bail.
Despite the fact he was wearing a GPS bracelet, he continued to commit crime.
While out on bail 2 years ago, Matsri tried to hire an undercover agent to murder a Mexican business owner who owed him $70,000. When his brother Shmuel was arrested in Israel, agents found a storage locker that was filled with explosives and hand grenades. Mob car bombings like this one are not uncommon in Israel.
The bombing is traditionally used as a way of intimidating others, including their own lawyers.
Feds say Matsri referred to his enforcers as baboons.
Scotty, tire?
And here in Toluca Lake, one baboon is caught using a tire iron to smash up a cocaine debtor's car. In actuality, the car is a setup by federal agents. Another baboon followed up later with a threatening phone call.
You saw what happened to the car. If you don't pay the money you owe, this is going to happen to your face.
Others who refused to pay were pistol whipped, beaten with a baseball bat, or shot with a taser. Vehicles were torched, and rocks were thrown through windows. Even law enforcement officers and their families have been threatened.
Just the way the business is done.
The illicit profits were laundered through banks in Europe, Asia, the Middle East, South America, Canada, and the USA.
Totaling literally millions and millions of dollars.
Moshe Matsri has now been convicted for extortion, drug trafficking, and money laundering. He has a sentencing date set for April 20th and faces a long prison term. But federal and local experts tell us Matsri is just the tip of the Israeli organized crime iceberg, and that the Israeli mob has its claws on rackets not only in Los Angeles, but in major cities across the United States. Chris Blatchford, Fox 11 News.